Welcome aboard this flight. It's BRK 113 aboard SPC19 Airlines. You have projectors in your center aisle. They'll light up in the event that you need to evacuate the building. There are 4 exit doors aft, 2 on each side. Since we are in Las Vegas, there are no life jackets under your seat in the event that we have to make a water landing. So just to go ahead and get started, today's presentation is Microsoft Search, what's new and what's next. We've got an exciting session prepared for you this afternoon. We're going to walk across all of the variety of different endpoints that come along with Microsoft Search, why Microsoft Search is important, and then most importantly, at the very end of the session, we're going to talk a lot about our roadmap and what you can look forward to as we continue to innovate across all of our Microsoft Search endpoints. I'm Bill Baer. I'm a senior product manager in our SharePoint product group. I focus on Microsoft Search and mixed reality on a day-to-day basis. So one thing I always like to start a presentation out with is a quote that's representative of a challenge that we're trying to solve, or an opportunity or a goal, or something that we're attempting to achieve. And this one really, it struck me as I started to think about Microsoft Search because of how opaque and transparent it actually is, but how it solves so many problems. So, looking at the quote, the most profound technologies are those that disappear. They weave themselves into the fabric of everyday life until they are indistinguishable from it. And that's really what our objective was with Microsoft Search. Really the only fundamental change that you see when you know that you have Microsoft Search within your Microsoft 365 environment is we've taken that search box and we've moved it to the header and really put it in a prominent place to signify that Microsoft Search has arrived. But effectively, absent that change to signify the arrival of Microsoft Search in your tenant, it is indistinguishable. You have a search box and it works like a search box should work, not like a search box used to work, and we'll talk about that in a minute. The reason we invested in Microsoft Search is because we all struggle finding information. Or if you're like me, we all struggle finding our car keys. So, if you think about the questions that are commonly asked in an organization, I need to find industry research data because I'm working on a proposal. The first thing people do is they go out to their browser and they search the public web because they're looking for some kind of industry research, or they try to search internally to try to bring up that information. But search is hard. You compose a query and you're presented a list of static blue links. And then you continue to refine that query if you have enough skill with composing queries to try to distill it down to the information that you're actually looking for. But for us, when we think about Microsoft Search, what if Search could actually work with you? So when I do misplace my house keys, that's kind of the traditional search scenario. I'm walking from room to room, trying to recall where I put those house keys. That's me refining a query in my own head. So where was I? I went to work, and when I came home, what's the first thing that I did? Okay, I got a cup of coffee. Oh, they're not in the kitchen. I let the dog out. Let me look by the back door. I went upstairs and changed clothes because I was going out to dinner, so let me look in the bedroom. Let me look in the bathroom. Effectively, what you're doing is you're continuing to refine a query manually in your head, trying to find your car keys. What if your house could just say, you left your car keys over by the coffee pot? And that is what we want to be able to do with Microsoft Search. The other thing is, can you send me a link to the PowerPoint you presented yesterday? We're being inundated by data. And if you look at reports from IDC or otherwise, they say 44 zettabytes by the year 2020. If you think about that number, 44 zettabytes, if you turn that into gigabytes, there would be more gigabytes of data than there actually would be stars in the night sky. So it's a huge number. Other reports suggest 120 zettabytes of data. So effectively what we're seeing is a growth rate, 50% year over year. So we're inundated with more and more data, and we have less and less time. And generally, if your work schedule is anything like mine, most of those asks come in right before 5 p.m. 4:45 p.m., somebody wants something, and you're like, okay, when I get home, I'm going to go ahead and do it. And by the time you've dealt with your commute, your mind just simply can't process what happened, an hour before. And you said, I know somebody asked me for something. They wanted something that I had shared with them previously, or I'm looking for something that they had shared with me. That answers that question. Or where did I put that spreadsheet? Is it on my hard drive? Is it in OneDrive? Did I put it in SharePoint? Maybe I sent it as a classic email attachment. I can't find our health insurance claim form. Where did I put the spreadsheet? How do I find the address of this building because I have a meeting there? So we all struggle just simply finding information. And why? Again, we're inundated with too much data, but not only too much data, just too much content unto itself. So it's not just files, it's news, it's conversations. We're just ingestion machines, right? We have data coming in from Yammer, data coming in from Teams, data coming in email, data coming in from SharePoint News. So we just have information coming at us at a rapid rate, and it's harder and harder to process that. And then search is frustrating because you're refining, and you're just seeking things. You don't exactly know where to look, but you know it exists. So you continue to refine to get there. And our expectations have really changed. We used to be satisfied with a set of blue links. Okay, that's great. Now we're less satisfied with receiving that set of static blue links, and we want search to do more. We want search to be everywhere we are, but most importantly, we want search that works for us. We don't want to work for search. That's refining. We want search that works for us. So there's a fundamental difference between what you would describe as recovery, composing queries, and refining, to discovery, which is finding the things that you didn't necessarily need to ask for, but they're important to you and they're important to the work that you do. So again, data growth it's exponential, 50% year over year, and 76% of data is unstructured data, the most difficult data to find. Structured data is generally easier to find. Why? Because it has a structure. So if you're looking at a table, tables have structure. They have rows, they have columns. It's easy to find data. Unstructured data, a little more difficult to find. And it's all stored in multiple locations, whether it's intranet, a variety of different cloud services. It could be in SharePoint, it could be in OneDrive, it could be in Teams, it could be in Yammer, it could be in line of business applications, it could even be on on-premises servers. So perhaps you're just starting your journey to Office 365 and you're migrating to our service from SharePoint on premises. Now you have two silos of data and you have to be able to rationalize those. Because largely, if you're in IT, you're the one performing the migration. So the user needs to be able to find, where is my content? Is it in the new migrated site? Is it back on premises? So that's the question of how much is too much. And why is search so frustrating? We have so many distinct experiences, search experiences. So in the past, if you searched in Teams, it was very distinct. If you searched in Exchange, it was very distinct. If you searched in SharePoint, it was very distinct. We all had kind of our own search service and place to go. Context and application switching. You were looking for a file. Is it in SharePoint? Did somebody send it as an attachment? First you search SharePoint, then you would go over to your mailbox and you would search there. Couldn't find it there, you'd go to Yammer and you'd search there. So you were searching across all of these different applications and services, which resulted in a lot of context switching, and we know nobody likes that. Each entry point has a different search UX. Search bar on the left, search bar on the bottom, search bar on the right. Sometimes there was no search bar. Sometimes the search bar expanded, so you had kind of a parallel effects that ran horizontally, but finding search sometimes was difficult, and when you did get there, the search experience was fundamentally different. And then search results were partial. They weren't consistent across applications. So when you went to Yammer, you were looking for Yammer conversation, Yammer file. But what about the email thread that actually spawned that particular conversation, or was the foundation of that conversation? Or maybe that conversation resulted in an email exchange. Or maybe collaboration on a file resulted in a conversation. So you need to be able to put these things together because there's affinity between the conversation and the actual file. And there's affinity between structured and unstructured data. And you need to be able to piece these things together to be able to discover or see the big picture. And that's the challenge with search, because all of these discrete entry points didn't give you the big picture. They're very unique. And what Microsoft Search endeavors to do is give you the big picture, the holistic view across all of the things that matter and all of the things that are related. And then lastly, there's just too many results to dig through to find the right one, because none of us have more time, and time is something that we can't purchase. Time is non-negotiable. We can't buy it back. So our expectations have changed. We want search at work to really be as easy as searching the web. I think everybody said that. Everybody's performed a search on the web somewhere. Hopefully, everybody's performing their web searches using Bing. But if you're not, You may be using Google, you may be using something else, but at the end of the day, we want our search experiences to be that easy, where you type something in a search box and you get the results that you want that are relative to what you were looking for. We want those search results to be personalized as well. And personalization could be super simple. I'm looking for a restaurant. We all want those results to be personalized to show us restaurants near us. Right? So if you're here at the MGM, at the SharePoint conference, you're looking for a restaurant, preferably you want something that's nearby. So when you do search, you want that personalization that really helps you get from where you're at to where you want to be. And then lastly, we also want answers to our questions. If you think about it, ever since the inception of search on the web, the thing that we've always done is asked it questions. You know, can I bring my cat to work? You know, comparing technology. I want to compare the latest iOS to the latest Android device. I want to compare this laptop to this laptop, this graphics card to that graphics card. But what we're doing is we're asking questions, and we're not getting answers. We're getting links. And that's the thing that we also seek to change. We want to give you answers, not just links. And by links, what I mean is when you do go out and comparison shop, you're getting a link to an article relevant to the keywords that you put in the search box. But how about getting an answer back? How about search doing work for you and actually answering your question versus sending you somewhere else to find the information that you want? As a result, we're spending about 20% of our time at work just looking for things. If you put that into perspective, 20% is 1 day of week lost per employee. 20% of our time searching, 1 day a week lost per employee. So if you've hired 5 people today, you only have 4 working for you. Because 20% of the time, and you do that multiplier, equals 4 people working for you versus 5 because that 5th person is searching for information. So that's why companies are spending billions and billions of dollars trying to solve these complex search challenges because lost productivity is a result of losing search. So with that said, we've kind of laid the framework of what Microsoft Search endeavors to be. So let's find out more about Microsoft Search from Katherine.
Thank you. Nice to see everyone here today. Happy that there's so many people waiting to see what we have done with search. You know, 1 day a week, that's a lot of time. You know, wouldn't you like to have that time back for yourself and for your company? Wouldn't you like to avoid having to do all that context switching and looking for the right search box and figuring out how it works? Well, we've been trying to do something about that. Just to introduce myself so you know who I am. My name is Katherine Hammervold. So I've been working on search for a long time. So I work out of Norway. I've been to the SharePoint conference 4 times, I think. So maybe you can guess that I came in working on fast. So I've kind of followed this whole search journey. And I'm very excited at the point where we're at right now. Really trying to reimagine what search is at Microsoft and actually trying to fix search, because I think the trust that we have in search is broken. I was in one of the customer panels earlier today, and I think one of the biggest hurdles is actually convincing people that they should try search. You know, people have kind of given up. And so, you know, just putting a search box in front of them is hopefully it's gonna help, but I think we really need to try to deliver on that as well. And so to get everyone sort of excited about this mission of reinventing search at Microsoft, our design team put together this little vision video, you know, to get everyone to rally around the vision. And I wanted to show you that to start off. Oh, we don't have any audio. Forgot to do the audio check. Yeah, well, this kind of shows you a little bit about what our vision is.
The music's not really.
Should be very catchy. We should be dancing on stage. Should we try it again is it come out of mute?
Just did, but the video ended.
Okay, we can go back if you want.
No,
it's okay. Let's continue. Yeah, you kind of get the vision here. Kind of search is everywhere. Search is helping you. Search is across the different client apps, and it's in Bing, it's in the browser, it's everywhere you can imagine. Okay. Yes, so, but what is Microsoft Search really? Well, we're thinking about it as one capability that's coming to all the different Microsoft 365 experiences. And it's built on the collective knowledge and know-how and technology that we built up in Microsoft across many, many different teams, in search and in graph and AI, and putting that together into one platform. It's search that's familiar, it's search that's consistent, but actually adapts to the context of what you're doing and the app that you're in. It's search that's intelligent, but also personalized to you and to your organization. And you've all heard about search. You've heard about classic search and modern search and SharePoint search and search in OneDrive and search in Windows. What I wanted to convey here is that all these modern search experiences are coming together as Microsoft Search. So there's no more, SharePoint search, modern search, Bing for Business. It's really Microsoft Search in Bing. It's Microsoft Search in Windows, Microsoft Search in OneDrive. I could go on. You get the point by now, I'm sure. And so we're actually very happy to announce that as of right now, Microsoft Search is rolling out to a number of different applications across Microsoft 365. So if you're in targeted release, you'll find Microsoft Search in the SharePoint start page. When you go to different sites, document libraries, OneDrive, Outlook, and if you turn on the coming soon feature in Word, Excel, and PowerPoint in the desktop client, you'll also see it there. And we'll demo that shortly. And it'll be coming to Windows around the summertime as well. Thank you. So we know that obviously you care about great user experiences, but search, enterprise search is also much more than that. I mean, as an organization, you really have to consider, is this solution secure? Can I trust it? How do I administrate it? And Microsoft Search really is trustworthy. We're GDPR compliant. We're multi-geo enabled. It's secure if you search from the browser or you search from Bing. So you can always trust that it will be just as secure as Office 365 is. And in this session, we're mainly focusing on how Microsoft Search is making you productive from day one. But we have a session, myself and Jeff Kisner, who's sitting here, after this one, 45 minutes afterwards, where we're going to be covering the bottom part here. How do you actually adapt it more to your business, to your organization? Last thing before we go into the demos, I think the thing that's really different about Microsoft Search compared to Search as we know it today is one thing is the relevance, the personalization that's based on graph that we've been rolling out now for some time, but it's also the breadth. It's everything from files to conversations to groups and people, and that's really making a big difference. But instead of talking about this, let's actually go to the demos.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Kerem Yuceturk. I'm a program manager in OneDrive and SharePoint, and I handle the integration with the fine folks that are bringing us Microsoft Search into the various SharePoint and OneDrive pieces. So let's see that in action. So I'll walk you through some of the changes that are coming to OneDrive and SharePoint UI. We're going to be looking at modern experiences today. Whatever is rolling out right now, this is in targeted release for targeted release users as well as targeted release tenants. This is not going to be affecting any classic sites or classic experiences that you may be using. We're going to cover that later, but know that this is coming to modern experiences at this point. So we will start with OneDrive. Here I am in my OneDrive as Megan, who's our demo persona today. And you will see that the search box that used to be here has moved up here to be consistent with all the other Microsoft Search experiences. So this is for wayfinding, for consistently going and finding that place on top of your screen where you will be able to start your search. And again, when you click on it, without having typed anything, we're getting some personalized suggestions. So this is that personalization piece coming in. This is a set of results. This is a set of files that we're showing you that are based on the files that you've recently worked on. And we keep a working set of the things that you're working on, things that were shared with you, things that your network is working on, so that it can be surfaced here quickly and will be at the tip of your fingers when you need them. And of course, when you start typing, you're going to get some more matches from that set of subset of files that you have, and you'll be able to click on those items and open them quickly without having to go to a search results page. But let's say whatever you are looking for is not here, and you want to hit enter or click on the show more results. And this will come to the OneDrive results page that you're familiar with. This is, you may know, there's no change here in this particular page other than the entry point. OneDrive today shows you a set of results that are from your drive, your personal drive, as well as the items that were shared with you in various ways through our sharing mechanism with the company shareable links or things that are explicitly shared with you. It doesn't necessarily bring back results from the shared libraries that you see here. I know we are not happy about that. We're going to be working on that. We're going to be fixing that later this year. At the moment, this is still the same experience, but there'll be improvements there soon. We have our filters here on the right-hand side, and you'll be able to filter your results the way you can. So the other piece of the Microsoft Search integration that we would like to emphasize is we want to make sure that you can easily find your way around your search results. So just because you're in SharePoint, you shouldn't be confined to necessarily, just because you're in OneDrive here, or if you're in a SharePoint document library, you shouldn't be confined to that set of experiences. You should be able to find your way into the larger scope of your organization's search results. So clicking on this result, this link at the bottom here, will take me to the organization-wide search results page that is attached to our SharePoint start page. This is the same experience that you would get. Wi-Fi is a little slow, or SharePoint is a little slow, one of the two. Oh no. Come on. I should have plugged into Ethernet. But then I couldn't blame Wi-Fi if this is a SharePoint fault. All right, here we go. We're getting some results back. Where was I? So here we are in the organization-wide results page that is attached to our SharePoint start page. And this is a place where you can look across all of your files. And you can use the filters pane on the right-hand side to filter by file type, last modified time. We will have customized filters coming soon later this year, as promised in the keynote, if you heard that announcement. But switching to the All tab will let you see types of items that are beyond just the files. So this is where you can look across your organization, be able to find SharePoint list items, be able to find pages and news articles from SharePoint sites. And later this year, we'll be having stream results show up there, so you'll be able to find videos and stream in this tab as well. Where is my search box? Let's give it a nice refresh. Is that oh, there you go. Let's try that. It's always good to plug in things to your machine while you're presenting and demoing. Okay, we have lights. It's coming. Come on. Let's do this again. Yeah, look at that Ethernet. Come on. Come on, search box. Don't fail me now. It's hard to do a search demo without the search box.
This is
All right, let's do
I've ever
this.
seen that happen.
New page. Hey, look, come on, render. Hey, Contoso Electronics SharePoint search box. All right. Thank you, thank you. Again, same principle. You click on it, you don't have to type anything. It starts to give you suggestions. Because SharePoint's start page and later SharePoint home sites will be this organization level entry point. It will give you these sites, files, news suggestions that you may have. I'd like to quickly show you a couple of the new features here. So let's say we are looking for my colleague Miriam. You get this. Microsoft Search understands that this is a people query. That's why this people card is coming up with this information about my colleague Miriam, and shows the schedule, reporting structure. I can click on the calendar to get her schedule and meetings that we both have in common. What I can do is you're also kind of noticing that in the search box, you're having these natural language queries. So I can come here and say Miriam's files, and it will actually show me her files. It's like a conversational piece that is going on. You can even say something like Miriam's direct reports, and it will understand and like show you the organizational structure. You can say manager. Like we're trying to bring this conversational understanding to the search results, so you don't need to figure out how to write your query to be able to get back the results that you want to get. So these capabilities will keep on improving with Microsoft Search, and we'll be adding more capabilities that are natural language supportive in the future as well. But let's turn our attention to what the administrators can do to make search be very useful for their users. Let's say I'm meeting a colleague in another building. You've seen this in the keynote demo likely. You can search for that location by name, and then use this interactive map, get the address, get directions. It's very useful. The other, quickly being able to get to answers, like your paternity leave policy, parental leave policy, without having to go into a document in an authoritative way. Like how many times you have to be like, hey, do I get like 8 days off, or like 12 days off, and like what year, how many years of seniority does my vacation policy change? Like you can just type that in, and your admin can make that an answer, so you don't have to go into the HR site and click around on links. You can just get that as an answer on top of your search results. I think it's very useful, and you can vary that by geography, region, to kind of make it work for different users of different locations. And last but not least, the mainstay of our enterprise search results page, promoted results, best bets. Now they're called bookmarks. Yes, we keep changing the name. This time it will stick. We promise we're not going to change it again. Bookmarks are what you get, so you can point people at authoritative sources when there's multiple competing search results that may be coming back for something. So in this particular case, I have this bookmark that goes to the work at Contoso Hub. So I'm going to follow that and show you a search box that's in the header for this modern site. So again, the search box is in the consistent place in all of these modern experiences. But when I click on it, it's a little different because it's contextual. It understands that I'm in a hub site now, and it actually searches across the sites in the hub as opposed to my whole organization. And the suggestions that it's showing here, the news, the files, the sites that it's showing, are from that hub site actually. So you're able to, thank you. So you're able to kind of like work that on a contextual level. And if I go to one of those sites, now I'm at the, that didn't refresh there. So now I should be at the site level, and if I type in my reports, now you will see that the wayfinding here, in my site results, also shows you that I'm in the operations site, but I can go up a level and look across all the items that are in my hub, and then I can go up another level and go back to that organization-wide scope that I have. So this kind of wayfinding we're trying to institute everywhere with the search box up top, find your way easily to your organization results, and be able to kind of find your different places so you can scope your search appropriately. So that, in a nutshell, is what we have. There's more to show. The document libraries, again, you'll see the same kind of experiences here with the search box up top, and those things should all work consistently. but that's the gist of our changes in a nutshell. I will quickly summarize and say 0 query suggestions personalized to the user that are contextual with the search box up top. The Q&As, the locations, the bookmarks are there, personalized people results, and in modern right now in targeted release, we'll be rolling out through the month of June, and classic sites. They're not going to be affected at this time, but we'll be coming to with solutions for classic sites later this year. And with that,
yes, let's look at Office. Let's see if I can get this to work.
And while we bring up Microsoft Search and Office, expect great evaluations for this particular session, because not only are you getting to learn a bunch of search stuff, but you also get to listen to the Gin Blossoms practice.
Wait, and I'm not getting the. It's just flickering. Wait. Okay, I think we're good. No, we were there. Yeah. So I'm hoping that Kerem has used up all the bad luck in terms of the demos today. So I'm going to demo something in office.com. So I could do exactly this, kind of the same demo that Kerem did, just to prove to you that we have a consistent experience and you're getting the same results, but that would be a little bit boring, so I won't do that. I'm going to show you office.com is a really great place to start your day. It's the portal that you get to when you log into Office 365 by default. And you can easily navigate to your apps, you can see recommended documents, you can get back to your work. So you can also, as you see here, we're getting suggestions. Here we have apps, files, people, and sites. And you may say, hang on, I didn't see people and apps in SharePoint. That's also coming to SharePoint. We're just a little bit ahead in Office.com. There's a lot of many teams, many entry points here to roll out to. So it's a journey, and we're getting there. So I'm going to go to Word. So this is the Word start page with the same familiar search box. From here, I could start a new document. I can get back to the templates in my organization that are available to me. But I'm not going to create a new document today. I'm going to open one that I've been working on, the Contoso Quality Report. Second. There's the mouse. Yeah, I'm going to open that in Word. You see you can open it in Word Online or in Word. The Microsoft Search Box is coming to both of those places, but as of now, it's in the Coming Soon feature in the desktop clients. So here you see the same positioning of the search box. Familiar right here in the center. You can see that the suggestions that you get are a little bit different, which is natural. Like when I'm in a Word document, I probably don't want to navigate to a SharePoint site as the first thing I do. I might want to access the quick actions that are here. Maybe I want to find something inside the document. That's, of course, an important search scenario as well. But now you see also people. So from right here from the search box, I could share this document with someone, which is going to be very helpful. Today, I'm going to be working on wrapping this document up. So I'm working on this paragraph on climate change here. So I'm going to search for climate, because I'm sure there must be other people in this organization, Contoso, that have written about this. So I'm going to leverage the knowledge from others in my organization. And I'm going to go to the end of the document where I want to insert. I have a table. Let's see. Here we go. I've created some placeholders for myself. So here you can see I can go to Files. And here I can see the files from my organization that are matching climate. So now, very easy for me to start reusing content. So here I can just click on Reuse Content. It's extracting out all the different objects that are inside the file. I could go here, I can insert a table. I could even insert a nice illustration. But another thing which I think is important when you think about Microsoft Search, and it's really trying to bring together Microsoft 365, the knowledge of the organization is, of course, very important, but there's also all this knowledge on the web, and all this knowledge that's built out, that's available online. So now, instead of first of all, I saved time. I didn't have to go and look for the file somewhere else to copy out those figures. Now I don't need to go somewhere else to search for, I want to insert a link here to the definition of climate change. So right here from this search box, I can look up and find links from the web. So combining world knowledge with your organizational knowledge right here from Word. And here I can go in and add that link. So I think this really kind of shows the power of Microsoft Search. Like, I didn't have to do all that context switching. The search box that I was using was familiar, and I was able to access all this different content just right here while I was just trying to do my job. Is it you? Sorry, yeah. Just a quick recap slide. Take pictures if you want. I'm not going to repeat it all again, but the power of Office is really there for you, and Microsoft Search is coming to the Office clients and to Office Online.
Awesome. One of the things I definitely like about that is from a context switching perspective is, in order to do a lot of that, you would have opened 3 or 4 different documents. You would have opened a browser because you wanted to get your web results. So you can imagine just building a report, trying to cite references, trying to reuse materials across the organization. And that definitely is of huge benefit there. So now what we want to look at real quick is I'm going to switch over because Microsoft Search isn't just limited to your app or browser experiences. It also works great on mobile. So as you can see here, we're in the SharePoint mobile app. So many of you are probably already familiar with the SharePoint mobile app. This is on iOS. You can also get it on Android. I'm looking at news from across my organization, but you'll notice here in the center we have what we call Find. The Find tab enables me to discover information that's relevant to me and relevant to the work that I do and the people that I work with and the things that I'm generally looking for. So it's able to take those signals and bring them to mobile as well. So the search box is prominently positioned up in the header, so you can see it up there. Right when I switch over into the Find tab, I can see my frequent sites, I can see people, and I can also see those recent files. But just like Microsoft Search across all of the other endpoints you've seen, be it the Office clients, so you've seen it in Word. You've also seen it in the Office.com start page. You've seen Microsoft Search in SharePoint. You've seen Microsoft Search in OneDrive. But that zero intent also brings itself to the mobile app as well. So here I am in Microsoft Search in the SharePoint mobile app. All I have to do is click in the search box, and I'm already getting information presented to me that's relevant to me based on what I work with, the people I work with, and just those signals themselves. So here's Miriam again. I can actually click in on Miriam, and I can start drilling down. I can see the files that Miriam and I have in common that I have access to, and discover those email conversations. So I can come in as well and just perform other searches. So I can start searching LI, and it's going to bring up Litware results. As you can see from the first two, which are files, PowerPoint and Word respectively, as well as people results, Lydia and Lynn. And just in the interest of time, we're going to go ahead and switch over not to Twitter, not to Fitbit, but to Outlook and check out some of the results here. So very similarly, I can click in the search box, and by clicking in the search box, it's going to bring up a few things, prior searches as well. So marketing, I can click on marketing, and I can discover Alex, and there's Miriam again, as well as Diego. So if I click on my Miriam result, you can see it brought an email up that was relevant to that particular search. I can search again for Lydia. I get not only Lydia as a contact, but I also get results from Lydia related to email. I can drill down into Lydia. And again, as you can see, I've got the file results. I have events. I have email. And then I also have organizational results. So I'm getting all of these results regardless of my entry point. I get Microsoft Search across all of my endpoints, whether I'm in mobile or whether I'm on my browser or whether I'm on the application or in the Windows search box, or in a moment you're even going to see in Bing. But I also have them on my mobile apps as well. So I don't have to try to switch to different applications to find different information within those applications. So switching back over to the slides real quick, just to kind of recap, Microsoft Search is available in the mobile app. Search box is featured prominently in the header, so you can see it there direct and center. We have the new Find tab, which I showed you in the center of the screen. So it collapses sites, links, people, and search into a single view. So as I scrolled through, you could see that not only did I have email, I also had files, I had organizational results, I had events. So I had everything collapsed into a single view. It also gives me common questions. I get personalized results. As you saw when I transitioned over, I also got previous searches, so my search history. So you saw my search history in there. I looked for marketing, I looked for Lydia, I found some Litware results, and I get quick access to the recent sites and the people that I work with. So if I don't have my computer with me and I'm just on my mobile phone, I can find information just as easily using the SharePoint mobile app. Additionally, very similarly, I can also do the same thing with the SharePoint mobile app, so I can find the right item faster. I get top relevant results, I get the suggestions, the proactive recommendations. As you can see, we have events here. I showed you events in the Outlook mobile app, but really it's beyond people. So when I searched for Lydia and I started to drill in, or when I searched for Miriam, you saw that I got not only just email, I got calendar, I got people, I got attachments, I got links, I got events, I got everything in one place. I didn't have to switch across a bunch of different applications. And you know what makes it possible is Microsoft Search is this amalgamation of technology that we've matured at Microsoft. So you know, taking the AI technology from Bing and pairing that with the deep insights that we derive from the Microsoft Graph, we're able to deliver this unique and differentiating search experience. So with that said, because that was a good segue into actually one of my most exciting search experiences, that is really the Bing experience. So we'll turn it over to Roseanne to give us a quick demonstration of how that works.
Hello everyone, I'm Roseanne Levisser. I'm a program manager on the Bing team. And those same great answers you've been seeing in SharePoint and Office are now available in Microsoft Search and Bing. So if you've been following our journey, you'll recognize that our UI looks a little bit different. And we've done that intentionally because unifying the user experience across all of these Microsoft Search endpoints helps our users find the same reliable and familiar answer cards wherever they are. So in this case, I've signed into Bing with my AAD, which you can see here. And I've searched for my colleague Miriam, in which I can see her people card and files and even Teams and Yammer conversations we've shared. So since I'm already here, I can also perform some public web searches. So I'm working on a document which I need some images for, so let's try this query. Oh wow, I can see the public web images and I can include those, but there also seems to be an internal bookmark that has drone photography that I can use. So I can choose between using the public web images or the internal resource that I have available. So searching across work and web is simple and easy using Microsoft Search and Bing. So what if I had actually searched for Mark 8 as a query? That might be a secret project name. Are my queries protected? Yes. So as soon as I sign in with my AAD into Bing, our queries are protected from the public web stack. So your queries are not used for public web suggest, related searches, or targeted ads. However, admins can see an aggregated view of their top search queries in the Admin Center, and that will be elaborated in the deep dive session. So switching back to the summary slide, Microsoft Search and Bing is already available to our targeted release customers and will be rolling out to general availability starting next week. And what you'll find in Bing are the same answers, including conversations from your teams in Yammer, people cards, files, groups, buildings, bookmarks, and Q&A. Also powered by Bing is the Windows search box. So Microsoft Search will be coming this summer to the Windows search box with our added trust measures. So you'll be able to search across your local apps, your settings, documents, the web, and now your work content too. So what you see here is the Microsoft Search and Bing mobile view right on your desktop. So with that, I'll hand it off to Katrina to do an overview of the connector and admin experience.
Well, it's more like a preview. The session that's coming after this is going to go into a lot more depth, but I just wanted to call out a few things here. We are also unifying the administration of search so that admins will have like a single purpose-built tool where they can go and get insights about search. They can go and configure their bookmarks. So what that means is I go and configure a bookmark or Q&A, and then immediately that shows up in Bing, it shows up in Office, it shows up in SharePoint. So I don't have to go and like manage all these different experiences. The other thing that we know is important for everyone is to be able to customize it for your organization. So I've mentioned the bookmarks. In the next session, we'll tell a little bit more about what other ways you could, things that are coming that will allow you to customize search. So if you have a portal for HR content, for example, you may want to, or a learning portal, you may want to include content that's sitting across different sites. It may not map exactly to a hub site. How do you go in and then like customize what results get included? Which verticals do you want? Do you want to have videos? Do you want to have training? You want your refiners for your custom metadata. So all of that stuff we're going to cover in a little bit more detail. It's coming later this year, so we'll kind of give you a preview. I think the other thing that's super important to us is empowering the ecosystem. I think we're still thinking about search as a platform. The experiences that we're building that are out of the box that get you productive from day one is a great start, and that's a big advantage over classic search where you have to go and do a lot more configuration and customization from the get-go. But we still know that there are a lot of important business reasons why you need to customize search for a particular portal, include specific content from systems that are outside of Office 365. So with connectors and with an API that will allow you to work where we can work with partners so they can build connectors, and then a search API where you can use that to leverage that to build search-driven web parts, build your own custom search experience. I think we're going to be covering really the broad spectrum of the needs that an enterprise has for search. So Microsoft Search is an awesome experience, but it's also a platform that's going to meet the needs of your organization. So more about that later.
All right, so everybody else is going to do it, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it too, and we'll just get this over with. You ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. Picture of the roadmap. So, Microsoft Search roadmap. What's available now? We are rolled out the targeted release for SharePoint and OneDrive, suggestions as you type. So you saw a little bit of that as I worked my way through some of the app experiences and in some of the other demonstrations. Personalized results. You know, obviously, that's one of the big differentiators. You're just not getting the same results as everybody else. So when Kerem and I search, we're getting things that are contextually relevant to us as individuals. You know, so search doesn't treat us as we're just the same person looking for the exact same thing, because we're in fundamentally different roles, but we work on the exact same thing. So the views that we expect are going to be different because the results that we want are going to be different. Improved people search. We saw a few demonstrations of that. Instant answers, bookmarks, Q&As, and locations. Roseanne showed a little bit of that via our Bing demonstration. OneDrive will get the unified search box with the zero query suggestions, or what I tend to refer to as zero intent. Click in the search box and immediately get answers. Modern document libraries, lists with controls to upscope to the site, hub, or even the whole company. For the Office applications, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, desktop applications for web, Microsoft Search, and Bing. And then on the admin side, you get to manage bookmarks, QA, and locations, and a central admin experience, to which you can learn about in 45 minutes, a little over. Analytics for Microsoft Search and Bing, and as Roseanne said, the biggest question always is I don't want my organizational results to sit in some public index. That's not the case. They still reside within the Microsoft 365 walled garden per se, controlled by all of our security and compliance promises that you can read about on our Trust Center. Effectively, the easiest way to kind of think about it and rationalize it in your head if you have limited familiarity with search, and even if you have a lot, is think about query federation. Old hybrid scenarios where you would ship a query out and get results from two different places. All the queries are de-identified, as Roseanne said, and protected. And then you get the Microsoft Search API and Graph, which will be beta, and that's available now. So you can start taking advantage of that and building some awesome stuff. So that one is really cool. Come on. I know. Developers. Right? And I'll only do that one time. I don't have as much energy as Steve did. Later this year, we're going to bring Microsoft Search to Windows. So you'll have it in your Windows search box for the Office applications and Word, Excel, and PowerPoint web apps. So think Office Online. Microsoft Search in Teams is coming as well. So you'll have that search box and Microsoft Search available in Teams. Connectors, we'll have some connector previews. So we will have out-of-the-box connectors. So Microsoft Search won't be limited to just the scope of Microsoft 365. You'll be able to connect back into your own systems. We have an ingestion API coming for any content, again, which is really cool. So not only do we have the Search API in Graph Beta, but we'll also have the ingestion API. And then security trimming based on Azure AD will come along with those connectors. And that's always been a big ask of some of our existing hybrid search scenarios for those of you that are doing that. Video, including stream, is a really cool one. Conversation vertical in SharePoint and Office. Bookmarks, Q&As, you type in the box. There's just so much coming for search. For SharePoint, redirect search to a custom page and then use P&P search web parts, or you can build your own using Graph and Search APIs. So that's really going to be helpful for those of you that really want to kind of create that personalized search experience. Classic sites can then upgrade to modern search. You'll have custom refiners, verticals, result types, modern display templates. OneDrive will search across all your files. You're going to get some more health and analytics, and then you're going to get the Search API and Graph, a bunch of improvements, as well as it being GA. So we've kind of got two sides. This is what we have in targeted release, which is coming to GA here soon. You can almost count it on your watch, June. So by the time that everybody walks out of here and makes it back home, depending on where you're at, you'll probably already start seeing some of these experiences from a GA perspective. Not for those of you that live down the street, but for those of you that live a little further away. And then later this year, you'll see a lot more coming, and we had to break that into two columns just because there's so much stuff. So what's the action plan? One, learn about Microsoft Search. We have a Microsoft Search Resource Center, aka /Microsoft Search. Easy to remember. If you go out there, and if you haven't been out there, on the right side of the page, there's a list of resources. One of those says adoption. If you click on that Microsoft Search adoption resources, it's going to take you to the center of the page. You're going to find a usage guide, which talks about how to best use Microsoft Search, which is really tailored to 11 different industry verticals. So if you're in oil and gas, or you're in finance, or you're in pharma, we're going to have recommendations on how to best or make best use of Microsoft Search in that document. We have a admin guide that you can download. We have a document which describes the benefits of intelligent search, where Microsoft Search fits in. We also have some Microsoft Search and Bing adoption resources, which are really cool. This is a downloadable adoption kit. It contains emails that are ready to send. All you have to do is just download the kit. So basically, you can establish your own nurture campaigns within your organization. It has guidance for the administrators on how to best drive adoption. It has posters and all kinds of stuff that you can use. So there's a Bing adoption kit that's localized right now into, I believe, today 4 different languages, and by the time all of us get back to work, probably 11 different languages. So you have a ton of opportunity there. There's also a download where you can get this presentation and other Microsoft Search presentations. There's mock-ups and illustrations if you want to build your own presentation. So you can imagine going back to your organization. So just chock full of resources. It'll also keep you up to date on blog. To get started, our documentation has been updated for Microsoft Search. Thanks to Katharina's team, who did an outstanding job in getting that out for us. So check out the new documentation. And then from a usage perspective, learn how to make the most of it. So we have recommendations on how to make content easy to find. So now, before we say thank you, we have an action plan, or maybe because it just seemed awkward to say thank you and bye and then do the action plan. So we'll just do the action plan first. A couple of things you can do. Number one, join our search community. If you look down, aka /Microsoft Search /community. Join the Microsoft Tech community. We have discussions there. Everybody on the team is active there. We do want to answer your questions, and we do want to hear your feedback as we proceed through this search journey. Give feedback on user voice. Definitely go to user voice and give us feedback. We want to know what you're thinking. You're going to hear that throughout the conference, not just from search. And we take feedback seriously, and we do that work. So it was a year ago, almost now, that I updated the user voice entry for site rename and said, yeah, we're working on it. And yesterday, we announced that we're shipping site rename, and it was based on your feedback, all 56,000 of you that spent a vote on that feedback to do that. You can follow us on Twitter at Microsoft Search. We tend to use that as a kind of a core channel of communications, just to let you know what's new, what's next. So roadmap, feedback, community, our blog, which takes you directly to the announcements blog from this week. And then there's another blog which takes you to the top level of the Microsoft Search blog. The Resource Center, if you don't want to have to look for that link on the right side that says adoption, you can just append that URL with resources. It'll take you right to our adoption resources. This is BRK113. That's the flight that you've been on today. We hope that you've enjoyed your experience on SPC Airlines. BRK143 is our next scheduled flight, very similar room. Again, 4 exits in the aft and 4 exits over the wing. Over here to my right, I didn't see those the first time, so good thing we didn't crash and just the demos did. So I just want to thank everybody for coming this afternoon and look forward to your feedback and look forward to you getting started with Microsoft Search. Thanks very much.